Today we have with us All India topper in the civil service examinations with 15th rank, KUNAL RASTOGI. Congratulations.
Bit of topper videos as well as some of my seniors who had cleared the examination suggested me that this is a good platform where you could hone your skills for the personality test. And from the good word of the mouth, I came to know about Kingmakers IAS Academy, and so I decided to join for the personality test. And everybody should be confident of its abilities but not be overconfident, and should prepare very diligently for each and every stage of the exam. Took some guidance, my interaction with you and all actually helped me to gain the positive mindset. Please remember, whenever such negative emotions come to you, you start writing an answer. A good answer, there are 2-3 general things. One is you are writing content that is along the demand of the question. Second is your innovative presentation techniques, and third is your flowery language.
Hello friends, today we have with us All India topper in the civil service examinations with 15th rank. It is not that easy to crack the UPSC civil service examinations, that too with the All India 15th rank. KUNAL RASTOGI is with us, and KUNAL RASTOGI has been attending Kingmakers IAS Academy personal test program for the last 2 years. He is basically from the BITS planning, and though he is from the BITS planning, it took almost 3 years to crack this, but his consistency, his perseverance and his hard work, today it has given All India 15th rank. KUNAL RASTOGI, congratulations first of all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, how do you feel now? You have achieved All India 15th rank. How do you feel? KUNAL RASTOGI IAS.
So the feeling has not yet sunk in. I think this was one feeling that I was dreaming since 2021, and finally now it has turned into reality. I don't know how to process it as of yet, but I think in future days the feeling would finally sink in.
Excellent. Say something about KUNAL RASTOGI, about your personal life. What was your schooling? Where did you do? And about your college. They are very much eager to know about your personal data.
So sir, I was born in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. My mother and father both belong to Lucknow. But since my father also belongs to the Indian Police Service, particularly from the Tripura cadre, so I have spent a large amount of my childhood, including my class 10, from Holy Cross School, Agartala. After that, sir, I did my 11th and 12th from CMS Gomti Nagar, Lucknow. And then I went on to pursue civil engineering from BITS Plani campus and graduated in 2021. Apart from that, sir, I love cooking. That is one of my hobbies that I have been pursuing, and I think that makes me feel sane.
Being a BITS planning student, normally they used to go to the private sectors, they learn a lot of money. What motivated you to start civil service preparation from BITS planning?
So I think my initial motivation, as you said, was minting money, and but I had a brief stint at the private sector. And when I did the job, it was just crunching numbers, and I could not imagine myself doing the same thing for 30 years on and on. And then the public service attracted me, particularly my work at the National Service Scheme. And what better public service than civil services? And so I decided to full on prepare for the examination.
People, they think that for a BITS planning, IIT students and all, the civil service examination is a cakewalk. But it took almost 3 years' time. But the civil service examination, in my view, it is almost equal for everyone.
Sir.
So what is your view actually? Was there any advantage because you studied in BITS planning?
Since I've come from an engineering background, I always flaunted that my maths was good. And this overconfidence made me fail in CSAT in my second attempt. Had I been a humanities student, perhaps I would have taken the CSAT more seriously.
Okay.
So I don't think the UPSC examination is a great leveler. I think each and everybody has to pay his debt to the UPSC, and only then can he crack the examination.
Tell about your UPSC journey, first attempt, second attempt, what was the results and why you took the third attempt, and what kind of mistakes you committed in the first 2 attempts?
So I gave my first attempt along with my college in 2021 as soon as I passed out, and fortunately I was able to clear the prelims as well as the mains examination, but unfortunately I wasn't able to crack it and failed by 23 marks. In my second attempt, I went a bit further downwards, and I wasn't even able to clear the prelims stage itself. I failed the CSAT.
First attempt you went up to interview, but in the second attempt you couldn't crack even the prelims. This is the game of UPSC.
Absolutely.
The third attempt, All India 15th rank.
This is an absolute reality. And after that, I mustered the courage and finally decided to give my third attempt. And I think one of the major mistakes that I did was perhaps overconfidence. After clearing the first attempt, the prelims and main stage, I was a bit too much confident, And so after giving the interview, I didn't study at all. I felt that I know everything and I will be able to clear the prelims in a jiffy. But that was not the case. So I feel each and everybody should be confident of its abilities, but not be overconfident, and should prepare very diligently for each and every stage of the examination.
Very good. See, one more very interesting factor in your personal life. When I had a small interaction with you, I came to know a lot of things.
Sir.
One very interesting thing is you prepared on your own.
Sir.
Probably in case you would have joined some coaching institute, sometimes even it would have taken more attempts also. Because proper guidance is not available in all the places.
Right, sir.
First attempt, you did not take any coaching, but even then you went up to the level of interview. Second attempt, again you did not take any coaching, but unfortunately you couldn't crack the prelims. The third attempt also, you did not join any coaching center for the general studies as well as for the CSAT, but in spite of that, your score was very high in the general studies. 124, particularly in 2023 prelims examination.
Sir.
If anybody is telling that in the general studies 124, Arey, this guy is what kind of person he is, like that only they will look at you.
Sir.
What is the secret behind it? How you took this kind of strong decision that you have to prepare on your own? What kind of difficulties an aspirant will face while they are preparing on their own? And where the coaching institutes will play a major role? Have you felt ever in any part of your preparation that you could have joined in the coaching institute? The money was not a problem for you.
Sure.
So in spite of that, you opted for this kind of decision. I'm not against the coaching institute. At the same time, I'm against to the unethical coaching institute.
Absolutely.
So what made you to choose this kind of things?
So I think it arose out of a necessity. So in my first attempt, I was in Tripura in Northeast, and it was the peak of COVID. So traveling to Delhi was not an option, and the online coaching had still not yet come. And so I wasn't able to join any coaching. And when I started to read the general studies papers, I found it that I could manage it on my own. And so I did not require any further coachings. For my optional coaching, sir, I think I required it because my background was in civil engineering. And so I decided to join the coaching. So there is only one mantra that I feel that one should whether join it or not is you start reading the subject on your own. You read the syllabus, and if you're able to comprehend it on your own, you may very well go ahead with it because the guidance is abundantly available. All the topper strategies are available, all the resources are available, and if you're able to decipher what to read and what not to read, perhaps coaching is not required. But if you start reading and you feel perplexed, you're not able to comprehend it, perhaps then coaching could be an option for you. So that is the mantra, I think.
Very good. How did you come to know about Kingmakers IAS Academy? Because when you went for the interview first time,
Sir.
that time also you have taken the coaching from Kingmakers. This year also you have taken the coaching from Kingmakers. How did you know about Kingmakers IAS Academy? You are somewhere in north and the institute is located somewhere in the south.
Sir.
And how did you come to know about it? And how was that experience? Say something about it.
So I gave it in the second attempt because my experience was very good in the first attempt.
Okay.
And in the very first attempt, sir, I saw a bit of topper videos as well as some of my seniors who had cleared the examination suggested me that this is a good platform where you could hone your skills for the personality test. And from the good word of the mouth, I came to know about Kingmakers IAS Academy, and so I decided to join for the personality test. And looking at the energy with which the people that I interacted with gave me and the honorable members that were present, I felt that it actually helped me to not only muster the necessary energetic personality that is required, but also the nuances that are required for giving a good interview.
Very
so
good.
that is why I also decided to go for it the second attempt as well.
Very nice. 193
Sir.
in the personality test. Very high score.
Sir.
Anything above 190 in the UPSC civil service interview is a very good score actually.
Sir.
Sometime even then, sometime we will feel that I should have been given 210, 205, 200. Always that kind of things will be there. Are you satisfied with this 193?
So to be very honest, in my first attempt I scored only 160.
Okay.
So anything above that is a bonus for me.
Okay.
But yes, sir. This time around, there was another major problem that I did not have any time to prepare.
Okay.
My interview was on the very first day, that is 2nd of January.
Very first day.
So when I came to know that it was on 2nd of January, I decided,
you don't know anything about the background of the members, panel members and all new. No, but sir, even then you went.
So I felt this attempt is over.
Okay.
I need to start preparing for the next attempt.
Okay.
But the remaining 14 days, sir, I took some guidance. My interaction with you and all actually helped me to gain the positive mindset. And I decided only to focus on my DAF, ignore what all the other coachings were saying, and give the personality test the way I am, honestly and through my heart. And I think that.
Can you please say something about your real personality test in the UPSC? Whose board it was, and a few questions. Just can you recollect? Because 193 you have scored. Some questions would have definitely helped you to score very high marks. What kind of question and what was your answer?
So this time around, my board was Honorable R.N. Chaube, sir. I think the first question was a bouncer itself.
Tamil Nadu Cadre IAS, sir.
Yes, sir. So he started with that you are a joint secretary in a CPWD department. Tender has been released for road construction of 100 crore rupees, and it has been given to the lowest bidder with all the procedural regularities. After 1 month, the contractor approaches you and says that the work order, which was supposed to be released in 1 week, has yet not been released. He has alleged to give 50 lakh rupees to the senior, my principal secretary, and is also willing to give it to me. So what would be a course of action? So my response was that as of now, I would not start any initiation against my principal secretary because these are only allegations and no substantial proof has been given to me. But the board member was continuously trying to convince me that you should file a petition, corruption charge against a senior. But I stood my ground. I said that whenever he produces evidence, proofs, only then I would be alleging or I would be willing to start an inquiry, because this may be also a case of victimization of senior officers.
Yes.
So I also said this. I said that removing corruption is important, but at the same time, victimization of senior civil servants that may lead to policy paralysis is also not required. So only after proofs and facts, I would be willing to start the investigation, and I stood my ground.
Excellent.
And I think that helped me in
excellent,
this
excellent answers.
Apart from that, sir, another question was that if you are to become an ambassador and high commissioner, which country would you choose? So I said, sir, China, because currently India is facing a lot of geopolitical challenges and I would love to be part of the solution. He said, what would be your second preference? Then, sir, I said Pakistan.
Okay.
And he said, why? I said, sir, because of the first reason itself. So I don't want to change my answer. The same reasons as the first.
Okay.
So I think another question was, sir, that we were discussing about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan this time.
Okay.
So there was a tin pit latrine system that is installed for the Swachh Bharat mission. So the member asked me that you are talking so much about tin pit latrine system. Do you know how much water is consumed in one flush when you use the Swachh Bharat tin pit latrine system? Fortunately, I gave the correct answer, and he was also impressed. He said spot on.
Oh,
so
great.
I think those 3-4 things actually worked in my favor that helped me score the required marks.
Excellent. 3 things which you feel that you could have avoided so that you could have achieved in the first attempt itself. Any 3 things, any big mistakes which you feel that you could have avoided in your journey of preparations? Can you please tell?
So first is writing less number of tests. I think practice is very important, and more the number of tests you write, the better it is. So I avoided writing many tests, particularly FLTs, and that actually did not boost my main score.
Okay.
Second, sir, is that I should have avoided is listening to too many voices. In this preparation, particularly in the interview stage, there are many people who are trying to convince you to do what they feel is right. And in this process, you become artificial rather than an organic human being. So I should have avoided listening to these things. And third, sir, I think I should have avoided is talking to people who negatively motivate me or discourage me. Yes. I think in my first attempt, even if I went to the interview stage, there were many people who were saying, this is a very tough examination, you'll not be able to clear it. Perhaps the voices mellowed down after I cleared the mains, but still they were there, and I think that actually affected my psyche. So I think these 3 things, if avoided, could have helped me to clear the examination in the very first attempt.
Very good. 3 strong characters which you possess, which has helped you to become a civil servant.
So that is another tough question. But I feel, sir, first is integrity.
Yes.
I think I have always been a person who believes that whatever I think I should be doing. And same goes for the UPSC examination. I know I wanted to do this, so I gave my heart and soul into it. Whether it becomes in practicing or hard work, I did not shy away from it. And integrity of purpose, I think, is very important. Second one is, sir, the zeal to learn. I think once you stop learning, you stop improving.
Yes.
And in this examination, continuous improvement is the key. Because the first day your answers may be very bad, but on the 100th day, it will definitely get better. So we have to walk on this path. And so third thing I think is open to criticism. I have always been very, very honest about whatever criticisms that have been thrown upon me, and I constructively take it so that I could improve, like I said in the second point. So I think these 2 points go together, and if you possess them, you would obviously be a better human being.
Very good. First attempt, you went up to the interview. Second attempt, you couldn't clear even the prelims. The whole society would have looked at you in a different way. Even when you would have gone down. There are so many aspirants, those who are watching. The same story would have repeated to so many individuals.
Absolutely, sir.
How was that feeling that time? How did you overcome that? Because failing in the prelims in the first attempts is like falling down in the first floor. But when going up to the interview stage and falling down from there, again not clearing the prelims in the second attempts, like falling down from the 16th floor. Right.
Absolutely, sir. Sir, I think I didn't deal it very well. Perhaps I should have dealt it in a better way, but whatever the circumstances that were thrown at me, so I practiced complete social isolation. So after I knew that I am not going to clear the prelims this year, after giving the interview, I decided for 1 or 2 weeks I will not talk to anybody. But that was, I think, in the hindsight, a wrong decision. I should have opened perhaps to certain few close friends. And that is the message that I want to give, that if you fail, which is bound to happen in this particular process, you should not lock it within you, because that leads to depression and all.
Yes.
Which I think I was close to, but again, my family and my close friends helped me. And perhaps that is the better way. You should talk to somebody.
Yeah.
When you are very down. And I think in that case, some external help is required. And I confided within my family members and some of my close friends. And I also started my hobby that time, like cooking.
Oh, okay.
So whenever you're depressed or whenever you're feeling very low, I think you should practice your hobby. You should talk to your close friends. That would help you to overcome whatever depression feelings you're in.
See, with respect to the prelims and mains and personality test, which one you feel like that is the most difficult part? Many people, they say it's a prelims. Some they say it's a personality test. Some they say it is mains. But many will say it's a prelims. Why it is told by many people the prelims is the most difficult part? And do you have any techniques to crack the prelims examinations? And what is your strategy?
Sir, I also concur that prelims is the toughest stage of the examination, because out of the 7-8 lakh people who are giving, only 14,000 would qualify, and the numbers are against you. If I were to give prelims, there are 2-3 things that I would be focusing on. First is revising the static part number of times, because current affairs is random, that you cannot prepare. The static part, particularly of polity, economy, geography, they are very important. So you should devote at least 70% of your time in revising these static parts. Second, sir, would be to ensure that your PYQs are up to the mark, particularly last 15 years. Now it is not the time to write the PYQs theme-wise, but paper-wise. So in the last 30 days, I made sure that each and every day I solve one prelims paper. Thirdly, sir, I feel that for current affairs that you have already done, some revision is required. So I made sure that I revise them more number of times. And the fourth, sir, perhaps the most important, is to refine your strategy. So the number of questions that you're going to attempt in the prelims, the number of rounds that in which you are going to attempt the prelims paper, the number of the areas where you would be able to take a more educated guesswork. Because for my case, history was not my cup of tea. So for educated guesswork, I never relied on history. I relied on science and tech and all. So you have to find your niche areas in a similar manner. If you are to make an educated guesswork, which section would it be? So these are 3-4 points that I should, and perhaps one of the most important point is, please give 3 to 4 CSAT papers, because CSAT has become a major obstacle for many of the aspirants. So at least 4 to 5 CSAT papers is very important, and improve your sleep cycle. Because if your sleep cycle is not up to the mark, you'll be sleeping in the CSAT paper. So these are 5-6 things that I would be focusing upon.
How many questions you would have practiced for the prelims exam?
So I never kept a count.
Just
in terms of number of papers, I think I practiced this time around 50 papers, 50 full length tests.
Very good.
So that's why I think I was able to score. If I give the prelims marks year wise, I scored in 2021 90.
Okay.
In 2022 103.
Wow.
And in 2023 124.
Excellent.
So in each attempt, the one thing that only changed was the number of practice tests that I gave.
Okay.
So after each attempt, the number of practice tests that I gave had increased. So the accumulated knowledge helped, but the number of tests that I was practicing actually helped me to refine my strategy. So at least I'll say in general I gave 50 FLTs.
50 full length test. It means section wise test maybe at least minimum 100 to 200.
No, sir. I didn't give sectional test.
Okay.
After my first attempt, I knew, I had practiced decent number of HLTs.
Okay.
So I did not require to give them again.
Okay.
So I only focused on giving FLTs in my third attempt.
And with respect to the number of questions in the exam hall, in the first attempt, how many questions you answered, and second or third? Can you please tell about that?
So in the first attempt itself, I knew that 84 was my sweet spot. So I need to attempt at least 84 questions.
Okay.
Now, depending upon how tough the paper is, the number of plus questions could be arranged. So for example, in my first attempt, I gave 89 questions. In my second attempt, I attempted 91 questions. And this time around, I only attempted 85 questions because the paper was so tough.
Very good.
So, but 84 was the bare minimum that I needed to attempt.
What about the CSAT?
So CSAT, this time around, I attempted 51 questions in CSAT.
Okay.
And I think 45 to 50 questions, I think you should be attempting.
Very good. Some people, they used to go in a single round. Some people, they go 2 rounds or 3 rounds. Which one you suggest to manage the time in the exam hall?
Sir, I suggest 3 rounds. So if there are 2 hours, in the first 5 minutes, skim through the paper to gauge what type of questions are asked, what are the pattern of questioning that are going to be asked. Then comes your first round. In your first round, only attempt those questions which you are 100% sure about. And in the rest of the questions, there were 2 type of markings that I used to do. For 50-50, where I was able to eliminate 2 options, I used to write big 50-50. Where I was not sure about, and there was a third case where I didn't know the question, I used to cross it out. So in my first attempt, first run through 100% questions. In my second attempt, the 50-50 part. After this, I used to count the number of questions that I had already done. Now, if the number was say 75-70, I used to bubble them. And then in the third round, the questions where I used to cross out, they were gone. The only remaining was 33% one, where I was able to eliminate 1 option and 3 options were remaining. So the rest 8 to 9 questions were from these particular parts. So in this way, I attempted 3 rounds.
In the first round, normally how many questions it would be correct for you?
So generally speaking, it was around 23 to 27 questions that were correct for me. That I knew absolutely that this is going to be surely correct.
You have taken 50 full length test.
So
many people, they think that all the toppers, when they were taking the full length test at home, they used to score 100 plus.
So,
but in my view, I know very well, it will be very less while we are practicing.
So
sometimes they used to get some inferiority complex also while practicing. But that is not the case which is going to happen in the exam hall. Even then, they'll be little depressed.
So
I'm sure in your case also, while you were practicing around 50 full length test, your score would have gone down also.
So
can you please tell about that experience?
I remember the first subjects that I gave, I scored 79 in that. And I think that was the most lowest moments in my preparation, because in my third attempt, I was still scoring around 75, 78. So this phase comes to everybody. You need to just overcome that. And after that, I decided to work more, because Abhyas 1, I think I gave on April 1st. And then after that, I only had 1.5 months to improve. And then I actually boosted my study a lot and went for 10 to 12 hours. But by the end, I think I was scoring around 120 to 130 in the mocks that I gave. And in my actual examination, I got 124.
Where do you see the difference between the top 100 rank holders and the other rank holders?
So no difference at all. I have talked to many.
Do you refer any special material? Do you present in a different way in the exam hall? What makes much difference? Because everybody is referring the same textbooks, same NCERT textbooks. Are you recommending any other textbooks which is recommended in the market?
Sir, honestly saying, I think the only difference that I personally see between other people and the ones who have cleared is their knack of answer writing. I think they have actually internalized the process. So for a good answer, there are 2-3 general things. One is you are writing content that is along the demand of the question. Second is your innovative presentation techniques. And third is your flowery language, which could be coming from anecdotes. For example, welfare state, I used to Sarvodaya Santyodaya, or Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Saptarishi principle and all. For a topper's answer, I think all the three elements are present there, which is not the case with others. And these three elements are there for 14 to 15 questions.
Okay.
At all. So if a person is scoring 820 plus, then all these three elements are present throughout the paper and one could see that. And I think that is the key. So you have to ensure that you are hitting the bullseye each and every time you're writing an answer. There should be content. It should be the content density should be high, and the presentation should be soothing to the eye of the examiner. Means he doesn't have to work hard to understand what you're trying to say. So I think if one follows these three principles, he'll be able to score good marks.
Some people will have some ready-made, some stock points. I'm sure definitely you have adopted certain things, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And some people, they used to use 2-3 colors pens to attract the evaluators. Okay, some will use graphs, diagrams, some kind of innovative things.
Sir.
What is your strategy to attract the evaluators?
So I never use different color pens because I think you'll not be able to complete the paper.
Okay.
But graphs and diagrams I used a lot.
Okay.
Particularly graphs and all in my economy questions I used a lot. The maps I used in my geography questions, my internal security questions, international relation questions. There were cycles also that I used to make, be it virtuous cycle, vicious cycle in my society questions. So these type of innovative things I used a lot. And I think that also helped me improve my score.
Okay. When you said that you scored very good marks in the paper 2,
Sir.
Any specific effort? Is it because of the PSI student that you scored that much high marks? It will not happen for the other candidates?
Perhaps a PSI helped me. There was a general consensus in the coaching market where I was writing the mock test that don't use PSI knowledge. And that is one advice that I'm very happy to have ignored. Because this time around, I heavily used my scholar's name and constitutional articles, Supreme Court judgments and all, books in international relations, some noted academicians like C. Raja Mohan, Swasni Adar, Harshvi Pant. So extensively used in my paper, and I think that helped me to score good marks.
Very good. Any specific strategy for the paper 1 or paper 3, paper 4, something like that? The same thing you said for the paper 2?
So for paper 3, I think, like you said, the graphs and all, I think that becomes a very important part. And in paper 3, I focused on content density. I think the more content you write, the more specific keywords that you write, the more marks you're bound to get. So that is a direct proportionality there. So in my both attempts, in my first attempt scored 90 and this time on 94. And both the attempts, I could very well say that my value additions were quite good, and that is where I got good marks. For paper 1, I feel there is a very good chance that you can score good in geography questions. So you need to practice the diagrams and all beforehand. And in all the 3 papers, one thing is for sure, you prepare your introductions and conclusions beforehand, because there are many questions that are going to be repeated as it is from the PYQs.
Yes.
So please prepare the introduction and conclusion beforehand. This will not only allow you to better manage your time, but also to give important keywords and all, which would appeal the examiner that you are a good candidate. For paper 4, I feel, sir, one thing that actually helped me this time, first time I scored 101, this time 118. And the biggest mark difference was my importance to section A. People generally write section B, the case studies for 1 hour, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, even 2 hours, and ignore the section A part.
Yeah.
But please don't do that. Provide equal amount of time. So for this examination, 1 hour 37 minutes I gave for section B, the case studies part, and around 1 hour 23 minutes for section A part. You have to give equal importance.
Almost equal importance.
Because marks are equal.
Yes.
Or for that matter, section A has more marks than section B.
Yes.
Because it is 130 and 120.
Yes.
So please pay equal weightage to both of them.
Okay. Whether you were able to complete the papers in almost in all the 4 papers?
So the only question, half a question I left was in my GS2, which I scored very high, 134.
Though you left half a questions, even then you were able to get 134. It means your content is the one which is key to success.
That was the only thing that I left in the entire question paper this time.
With respect to the optional, you were able to complete.
I was able to complete all the papers.
Okay, with respect to the essay, again, you were very consistent in scoring very good marks. This year also, I know very well that most of the candidates, they couldn't score very good marks, even more than 100. It was very difficult, except very few.
Sure.
So what is your strategy for the essay? What was your score in the essay this time and last time?
So last time around it was 101 and this time around it is 129. I think essay, there are 3 parts to it. First is your flow, second is your alignment, and third is your content. Now for flow, there should be an organic logical flow in your essays. Now for that, for philosophical essays, instead of the pestle principle which many subscribe to, I used a question answer format. Like if there is a particular topic, I would like, why is it so? When was it so? Who are the people who are following it? How can we follow it in our own lives? So in these question answer formats, I used to break my essays and brainstorm it. For the general studies paper type essays, I used to use the normal pestle principle. So this is how I used to maintain my flow. For alignment, which is very important, because if you misinterpret the topic, straight away your scoring would start from 80 or 85 number. So you have to interpret the topic very clearly. For interpretation purposes, I used to read it in English, and since my mother tongue is in Hindi, I used to read the Hindi translation as well, just to make sure that I am not misinterpreting the topic. Also, what I did this time was that the last 10-year topics, the philosophical topics, I used to feed it in the chat GPT. And I used to understand what the meaning was. So chat GPT I extensively used.
Very good.
For content part, sir, I think I used poems, books, then Panchatantra fables.
Oh.
That is also something that I used this time. Movies, sir, like this time there was a topic called Society Based on Justice Needs Led Charity. So I used the Lagan movie of Amir Khan.
Wow.
So that was another thing. And one more thing that I used to watch very frequently was TED Talks. So in TED Talks, they give a 15-minute talk about a topic.
Yeah.
So you see how they start, how they hook the examiner, and how they are able to convey so much information in so little amount of time. So that is one thing that I absolutely enjoyed watching as well, and that actually helped me in the examination.
Yeah, this is what all the toppers they used to do it. Apart from the content, what they read from the static textbooks and reference textbooks, they also just gathered a lot of information through various other sources, like watching TV or reading some fiction or non-fiction, something like that. It helps you a lot. So, whatever the knowledge you are acquiring through various sources, it will help you to crack the UPSC examinations.
Absolutely, sir.
That is one thing which is very important that they should listen. Sometimes, now I wanted to ask some general question.
Sir.
If you are preparing for civil service examinations, you should not watch movie.
Sir.
You should not spend time with your friends.
Sir.
And you should be like a guy who has come from something different world.
Sir.
Okay, is it so?
Regarding watching movies and all, I absolutely love watching movies. I think you should do everything that is possible as long as it is not affecting your studies. Watching movies, staying with friends or talking to them did not affect my psyche, so I decided to indulge in them. So it depends on a personal choice.
One more interesting thing. The pressure from the society, not to you, but to the family members.
That is true, sir.
It's something greatest pressure that all family members, all achievers family members, they used to face. What kind of pressure you had? Because you are a BITS Blani guy. Of course, your father is lucky that you are lucky that your father already was into police service. He knows the pain of it. In spite of that, there will be a lot of pressure also. Hey, you are son of an IPS officer, you are from the BITS Blani, you should have cracked in your first attempt.
Sir.
This kind of pressure you would have definitely faced.
Absolutely.
It's a double pressure again. Being in a family, that too from civil servant family, always there is a lot of challenges.
Absolutely.
So
sir.
what kind of challenges you faced during this journey, this kind of personal things?
Sir, obviously there were a lot of personal attacks from a lot of people. Perhaps because either they wanted to undermine me, I don't know what their mental psyche was, but it was not good for me personally. And in this, I think my mother and father shielded me very well. They filtered out the information that was coming to me. So I was not negatively disheartened. Before the result, there were many people who used to directly convey to me that civil services, tumse nahi hoga. You should leave it, you should look for other opportunities, perhaps give some other examinations which have better chances for you. And now the same people are saying that these were sources of negative encouragement. Like I used to pull you down so that you could rise again. So these are the excuses that they are giving me, but I know what their intention was. And each and every aspirant has to face these particular things. So please, in these tough situations, always remember, whenever such negative emotions come to you, you start writing an answer. That is what I used to do. If there was something that I cannot do, or somebody said that you cannot do this, I used to pick up my pen and I used to write an answer. So that is how I tried to escape these things.
Okay, after the results are out, after seeing your name in the All India toppers list?
Sir,
What is the reaction from the family side or the relative side, the so-called society side?
they have completely changed. I think apart from my mother, father, and my sister, everybody in this world has changed.
Okay.
With respect to me. Now, earlier they used to straight away reject whatever I used to say. My friends have also remained quite a bit same, but specifically the family members, the neighbors and all, they have changed a lot. That is absolutely true.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, actually, fantastic interview today we had with the Rastogi. Now, one last question. You have come from such a long distance, Lucknow, to attend the Kingmakers felicitation ceremony.
Sir.
We are so happy that we played a small role in your journey of success.
Sir.
Can you please say something about your journey with the Kingmakers and how do you feel about our association?
Sir, I came to know about Kingmakers IAS Academy by word of mouth. Some of my seniors had given their mock interviews here and they suggested me I should take the same. And once I entered the family feeling that Kingmakers provides, the regular interaction and the positive encouragement that they give actually helped me a lot. Though I wasn't able to clear it in my first attempt, but they still kept in contact. And in this attempt as well, as soon as I cleared my as I got to know that I would be giving interview this year, Kingmakers was perhaps one of the first coaching that I enrolled again.
Wow.
For the preparation. And I think they not only provide me with ways to improve my personal skills, but also give me ways in which I could have a positive outlook towards life and become a better human being, which is, I think, the ultimate thing that each and every one of us should aspire to become.
Very good. Your final message to the aspirants. Some are preparing for these examinations. Sometimes they couldn't clear in the prelims itself, but still they are all continuously preparing for it. The journey is like that. So what is your message to the serious aspirants? Final message.
Sir, I feel that honest hard work is always rewarded by God. Don't listen to anybody who's saying that the process is opaque or there is a lot of luck involved. There is, but that is not under your control. The only thing that is under your control is your hard work. So please only focus on that. Trust the process. Trust in your God. Have faith in some of your whatever God you believe in. Regularly interact with your family members because they are the ones who will pull you up in your lower times. And if God willing, you will also be able to clear the examination.
Yeah, it's really a fantastic feeling today we are having. He has secured All India 15th rank, which is not that easy. And he has shared a lot of inputs, how he started his preparation and what was his strategy he adopted in his prelims and mains and personality test. How one should aspire to become a civil servant, and in spite of so many challenges, how he should achieve. So many things he has shared. I'm sure this video would be really useful to the aspirants. You have to follow the footpath of the KUNAL RASTOGI. You have to bring the glory for not only to your family but also to the entire nation. So civil service is one such field. I'm sure definitely whether you clear it with rank or not, but the knowledge which you are going to acquire during this journey will make you as a greatest human being. That's what it is required. Today we interacted with such a humble, simple, great personality. In spite of he had a very great opportunity in the private sector, he did not opt for working in the private sectors. He decided that he wanted to work in the government sector. That too, he tried 3 times and finally he has made it as a All India 15th rank holder. So we have to follow the footpath of the KUNAL RASTOGI, and the perseverance and consistency. These are the key to success in the civil service examinations. I'm sure in the future, many aspirants from our state and as well as from the nation, those who are working in the private sectors, if you are really willing to serve for the nation, this is a very good option, that's civil service. Like Rastogi, you should also join in the civil service. For that only we have recorded this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Rastogi.